Good morning. It's Peter Cowan, the Bee Whisperer here, and I am here at my Winterport yard in Stream Road, and we have been in a situation where we have had significant dearth, but something is starting to happen. We're starting to get some activity. It's 10 o'clock in the morning. We had a little bit of rain yesterday. And we've got a lot of flying activity. I would say in excess of 200 bees a minute coming in and going out. Now this time of day, when we expect a lot of pollen, there's certainly plenty of pollen coming in. But there's also a lot of bees returning with no pollen, which may infer a nectar flow. There's always grasping at straws in beekeeping. So these ones more in the shade, they're still very busy. Some are not as busy. Might just be a weaker hive, but they're curing something. Working the draft. Got plenty of bees coming in. These hives got off to a late start, and this yard has had good flows in the fall sometimes. And one thing I wanted to point out is those yellow fields in the background. It's not goldenrod. There's goldenrod around, but that's around everywhere, and not much of it producing nectar. But what I think it is a field full of this stuff, which I'm not 100% sure what it's called. There's more over here. I noticed in the last yard I was in, the bees were on that stuff. Maybe someone can tell me what this yellow flower is. But that seems to be what that field is over there. This one not so much. A lot of it in those two fields. There's another one of those flowers. So someone please tell me what that is, whether or not it produces a honey flow in your area. We've got a lot of things. Thistle, bees love that. But let us hope that we do get a nectar flow, because right now, yeah, here's some of the bees looking on the thistle. It'd be nice to have a nectar flow. It's nice not to have to feed the bees. They've had a bit of a trickle feed during the dearth just to stop them losing weight. But now we can have a look inside and see if we have any signs of white comb there. It was a rainy day yesterday, which is good. This probably means that they were, of course, quite busy today, making up for some lost time. But we'll have a look and see if we see any white comb. That's what we're hoping for. Got the phone up a different way than normal, so excuse me if I'm not positioning it quite right. Let's see. No, I'm not. They're not particularly big. I put a super on the 18th of August. I doubt there's much happening on it. Look at this. lots of bees in that super. Let's see, since the 18th of August, what has happened here? I should get my smoker going, really. A few butts getting stuck up in the air, showing me their stingers. Yeah, a few bees buzzing about my head. I'm not particularly happy. Well, has been some flow of some sort. It's been on since the 18th of August. It is now the 26th of August, so it's 8 days. There's a little bit of nectar there. See if we can get some sun on the subject matter. See if we can see anything in there. Got some honey around here on both sides. Hope for this is that it might produce some comb honey. Lots of yellow pollen from goldenrod. We shall see. It would be nice if we do get a honey flow. Oh, straight now. So I'm not expecting a great deal, but they are putting something in this super, which is better than some of the other yards by a long way. So we'll see. Maybe we'll get a fall honey flow. Maybe not. I don't know if those yellow flowers are going to produce much in the long run, but maybe they will. Let's have another look. Let's see, this one's had a super again on the 18th. This new tripod. I have to get it working right. Okay, let's see what happens. Not really. Certainly bees in it, but I can tell there's not much going on in it. Not much happening there yet. They've just been a bit early for it. But the activity, that's a good thing to see. Okay, that's how I put the red super on the top. It's got a new super, very busy. Plenty of bees up here. Well, there's some tiny bit in the frames, in the upper sections up here. Otherwise, not a great deal. A little bit in here. But let's see, we'll come back in a few days and see if we actually have a flow to speak of. So it'd be certainly great if we do have a honey flow right now, because that will save me a lot of what would be otherwise the next step that I'd need to do. All of these hives have been treated with either Formic Pro or HopGuard, followed up by Viroxan. I found that the Viroxan has worked extremely well at keeping those mite levels low. Once you've got them knocked down, if they did get up, once you got them knocked down with Formic Pro or HopGuard, the Viroxan's doing a good job of holding them down. So otherwise, I'm pleased with that. The colonies over in this yard predominantly will overwinter as singles, maybe some as doubles. If the honey flow stops, and I'm only getting like bits of supers, like this orange one is above a queen excluder. If that only gets maybe 10 pounds of honey in there, I'm just taking it off and letting the bees rob it out. We'll know in about a week's time if this little honey flow builds up and gets better in the next few days, then great, I could take a box of honey off. In some yards, I'm certainly not going to be able to do that. They're only putting in a little bit up in there, and I'll take it off, let them rob it out, and then I have to feed them up, because if we don't get a honey flow by middle of the first week of September or so, we're probably not going to get one at all. Because by then the asters should be producing if they're going to. It's really our last chance. So food-wise, we'll be reliant on those flows of nectar either coming in now or we'll be feeding sugar syrup. In terms of mites, that was the most important job for winter preparation, and the mites were well on top of at the moment. We had hives here 2nd of July had 2 mites, 31st of, so no treatment at that point. 31st of July had 7 mites, and so we gave it Formic Pro. By the 14th of August, it had 0, so I put on Viroxan. By the 18th, I put a super on. So this hive's had Viroxan on for about 2 weeks, maybe 3, and it'll still be good for another month and a half. Well, maybe a little less than that. And that'll take us right through the winter preparation time where the bees are building up their winter bee population. This is fairly typical of what this yard was like. Again, here's another one. Had 2 mites on the 31st of July, so put Viroxan on. Nothing on the 2nd of July. Added a super as well. What we're doing now is food preparation. Mites are taken care of. We'll watch for mites in any yards that had still needed a high treatment like Formic Pro. They're getting the Viroxan now. So mites are under control. Food is in the lap of the gods still. We've got about another week before we know whether Mother Nature's going to bail us out this fall or whether we've got to invest in thousands and thousands of pounds of sugar. I just ordered another 2,000 pounds of sugar this morning. So looking forward to having to do all that. I hate feeding in the fall. But it's a big investment, and sugar syrup is a great investment for the winter because they actually do better over winter on sugar syrup than they do on honey. Honey, yes, has better nutrition, but they've got plenty of good nutrition in there. We've got loads and loads of pollen. We're blessed with lots of pollen here, come dearth or whatever, here in Maine. And they do have honey in the brood chambers to some extent from earlier in the season and from right now. But the sugar syrup is good because they don't fill up their guts with undigestible material in the fall or over the winter time that way. And last year, where we had a fall honey flow, a strong fall honey flow, they went through the winter here with a lot more honey than they normally would do. Instead of sugar syrup honey, they had natural honey, which a lot of folks might say, oh yeah, that's so much better. But I found The hives where I know I did that, I had a higher instances of gut issues in the bees, where we had 3 months where they couldn't fly and they started to poop inside the hive because they couldn't hold it. I generally don't see that at all when I'm feeding sugar syrup. Whilst it was a good year for overwintering my bees, I think that having a good deal of sugar syrup in their overwintered feed is actually a good thing. So apart from food and mites, there'll be winter preparation coming on following that. We were doing training on that, so Amy Nickerson and myself will be doing another workshop for winter preparation. If you're interested in that, you can follow the links, which are either in the comments below, which I will put up as soon as that link is ready. It should be pretty soon. Get off the yellow jacket. Or you can also go onto my Facebook page, The Bee Whisperer, and you can follow the links there. Certainly, it is a very popular event. We have hundreds of people join us for that and show you the way that I overwinter here in more detail. These yellow jackets are being a little persistent, so they're wanting to get some food out of my bees as well. So anyway, I hope you will join us for that winter workshop. I've got a few more yards to get round to this morning. I would love to see some more honey flow like we appear to be getting here now. It might just be wishful thinking, or it might be just a quick response after a bit of rain. We had about 1/10 of an inch of rain yesterday. Or it could be, with the yellow stuff around, we are getting a nectar flow. Wouldn't that be nice? Wish us luck, fingers crossed. Not all my yards are like this. Some are in absolute urgent need of feed. So it's good to have yards in different locations. It's amazing the differences between them. Anyway, we shall see. I've got sugar syrup in the car just in case, and we'll get those ones fed. I'm Peter Cowan, the Bee Whisperer. See you next time.